How your childhood shapes who you become. Psychology explains the hidden patterns. The path to understanding who you are today often begins long before you can remember. Your earliest experiences, how your caregivers responded, the environment you grew up in, the unspoken rules of your household, laid the foundation for who you would become. In this eye-opening exploration, how your childhood shapes who you become is decoded through psychology's lens. This isn't just personal history, it's the hidden architecture of your patterns, emotions, and life choices. We'll unveil 10 powerful ways childhood molds your personality, resilience, relationships, and mindset. Each insight is rooted in research yet crafted to be deeply relatable. You'll finish this article seeing your own story and your potential for transformation with fresh clarity. 1. Attachment styles, the blueprint of trust. One of the most influential gifts or setbacks from childhood is your attachment style, how you learn to bond with caregivers. Psychology identifies primary styles. Secure attachment emerges from reliable, sensitive caregiving. You likely feel comfortable being close, asking for support, and trusting others. Anxious attachment grows from inconsistent availability. You may crave connection but constantly worry about being abandoned. Avoidant attachment often follows emotional neglect. You learn to rely on yourself and keep others at a distance. Disorganized attachment stems from fear and chaos. You may experience deep internal conflict about closeness and trust. Your attachment style, first learned in childhood, subtly influences adult intimacy, friendships, and parenting habits. 2. Parenting styles shape your worldview. Allowing your environment to mold your beliefs. Parenting styles, authoritative, authoritarian, permissive, neglectful, have long-term effects. Authoritative, warm with boundaries, fosters self-esteem, responsibility, and balanced decision-making. Authoritarian, strict and punitive, can instill caution, perfectionism, or rebellion. Permissive, too lenient, may lead to impulsivity or difficulty with rules. Neglectful, emotional absence, can create anxiety, often stemmed from feeling unseen or unworthy. Understanding how your parents raised you helps explain your habits, like how you self-regulate, respond to authority, and pursue personal goals. 3. Early trauma leaves deep imprints. Significant stress in childhood, neglect, bullying, frequent moves, illness, can recalibrate how your brain processes threat and safety. Researchers call this the stress response programming. A hyperalert nervous system may leave you anxious or hypervigilant as an adult. Alternatively, emotional numbing may occur, making it hard to tune into feelings. But knowledge is power. Healing becomes possible when that programming is understood and addressed through therapy, mindfulness, or somatic practices. 4. Modeling behaviors, learning through observation. Children are natural imitate learners. If your caregivers managed conflict with calm or aggression, you likely absorbed those emotional strategies. If they avoided emotions, you may have the same pattern. Becoming aware of these inherited habits allows you to choose differently, whether you handle stress better, communicate more clearly, or break unhealthy cycles. 5. Core beliefs take root early. Your inner voice and what it tells you about yourself often reflects early messages: you're lazy, you're too sensitive, or you're smart. These core beliefs shape your behavior and expectations. An early success might have told you that you're capable. A childhood mistake might have convinced you that you're incompetent. Identifying negative core beliefs is the first step toward rewriting them with self-compassion and evidence-based truths. 6. Resilience patterns come from secure base. A psychologically secure childhood provides a home base from which you can take risks and bounce back from setbacks. Even small affirmations like, "You can try again," matter. If you were not encouraged to try, you might get stuck avoiding challenges. But with awareness, you can retrain your resilience through incremental bravery, like choosing a small fear and confronting it immediately. 7. Childhood shapes your emotional window. Your capacity to handle emotions, how much you can feel before you feel overwhelmed, is often learned in early interactions. If caregivers acknowledged and named feelings, your window is wide. If emotions were ignored or criticized, you might shut down or catastrophize. Expanding emotional bandwidth may look like stepping outside your comfort zone in tiny ways. Noticing 2 to 3 feelings each day without judgment. 8. Childhood influences your stress habits. Chronic stress in childhood can create patterns of worry and internal pressure. Whether perfectionism, constant busyness, or fear of conflict, these habits mirror old coping strategies. Mapping your stress habits and asking, "When did I learn this?" helps you trace them to origin. Changing them takes patience, but once you root them out, the freedom is profound. 9. Identity, culture, and childhood beliefs. Your childhood culture, spoken norms about race, gender, religion, success, subtly tells you who you can be. Maybe achievement at any cost was rewarded. Perhaps humility over excellence was emphasized. Identifying those cultural beliefs helps you craft your own identity. You might reject certain ideals or rewrite them to fit who you choose to become, not just who you've been raised to be. 10. The power of reparenting yourself. Childhood patterns are strong, but not permanent. Psychological reparenting means intentionally teaching yourself what you missed. Boundaries, self-love, forgiveness. You become the loving parent you needed, validating your emotions, giving yourself grace for mistakes, celebrating your strengths. Over time, that inner caregiver outlives the wounds. Final thoughts. How your childhood shapes who you become is deeply rooted, and yet survivable. You are not defined by the past, only informed by it. With intention, insights, and gentleness, you can reframe old narratives, embrace new strengths, and create the person you were always meant to be. Childhood imprints can soften. They're signposts to your transformation, not chains. Understanding them empowers you to rewrite your story and shape your life with awareness, presence, and self-love.